A list of favorite movies is something that I can always see as appealing because not only are all of them going to be different, but everybody has different tastes, and ranking something as big of a medium of entertainment is not an easy thing to do. So I'm not gonna try to stall time or whatever, but here we go. Dr. X Henry's top 10 movies of all time. Alright, coming in at number 10, we have Shaun of the Dead. Now, this is easily my favorite Edgar Wright film because as a Baby Driver, everything that he's made has just been phenomenal, and the first within the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy, which I all think that, in which all take something simple and go above and beyond with the material. And I think Shaun of the Dead does this very well because it came out when zombie movies were ridiculously popular, and it could have just been any other zombie movie, and so it basically carries simple plot elements like, oh, a guy just trying to get his girlfriend back during a zombie apocalypse. We've seen that 100 times, but it's just topped with constant visual jokes and humor, and if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. For example, the have a pint and let's wait for this whole thing to blow over scene is just one of the funniest scenes in any movie ever because of its specific form of execution. It's just still such a goddamn fun movie to watch, and there was a point in my life where this movie was number one, and I used to watch this movie like every Friday night for like 2 years. Yes, I shouldn't have been watching that. That's just phenomenal. I cannot recommend it enough. Alright, Indiana Jones is fucking awesome, and The Last Crusade, I think, is easily the best of the series, because the quest for the Holy Grail is always something you can make interesting, and it takes it to a constantly creative take on specific old action tropes, which constantly makes it entertaining. Easily my favorite parts have to be with the relationship dynamic between Indy and his dad, which just leads to plenty of entertaining character moments, and is just definitely one of the most creative action movies out there. If you're looking for a good time, then I recommend you watch this movie. If there's one movie that takes the specific form about everything entertaining, about the commonplace touch of edge, but still being very lighthearted at the same time, present within pretty much the entirety decade of the 1980s, which you say a lot of the Disney afternoon shows did, but has not been executed better than in Castle in the Sky, which perfectly sums up why Miyazaki's work can be so kick-ass, plus combined with the universe is just so built to work, because the universe in this movie, I think, what really makes it work the best. Now, because the use of advanced machinery, but still having creative but realistic environments surrounding everything, just combines with a gripping story, and I do not think it's Ghibli's best, but it's just one of the most damn fun animated movies out there. Animation is a medium and an art form, and there's no movie that proves this statement better than Yellow Submarine. Now, it's a film that does not give a single shit about the story and puts it all around the environment, which constantly engages you with some of those visually predominant feature films ever. Within the musical sequences, all bringing such variety and setup within the context of the film, whether it's just environment setup or plot device or just, filler musical sequence, not only it just works as their own musical videos, but they also work as a scene that continues the storyline within the film, because there are countless instances of creative character design and which makes so much memorability on their own, and I think it's part of the journey of the film that every time you rewatch it, you're going to notice something more weird out of place. Now, I'm not saying this film doesn't have any problems. Now, there are some things, like the pop art style hasn't aged the best, don't get me wrong, it doesn't look bad, and that's part of the specific style why the animation is so engaging, but, there also are a few technical errors, like look at the shot right here. Okay, so this, you see the car right there is yellow, but then it's red when the camera zooms out. Like, this movie is an absolute must-watch to a large amount of people. Now, obviously, the Beatles, pop art, the psychedelic age, and just animation in general, because this truly does prove that it is a medium and an art form. Jurassic Park. Oh, hell yeah, Jurassic Park. Okay, this next plot goes to Jurassic Park. Now, this was a film that I was exposed to long after it came out, and everyone says that it was just awesome and creative and suspenseful even to this day, and making it the definitive dinosaur movie. And yeah, that statement's pretty much true. I'm honestly with the general public with this one, because I think it holds up probably better than any other movie on this entire list, because it's still largely impactful. Yeah, sure, you look at the effects and everything look better than a lot of stuff that we have today, considering that, CG's gotten progressively better. Like, it just brings a brilliant and fascinating story that I honestly think is another example of film going above and beyond in what it specifically needed to be, like I said previously, making it the definitive dinosaur movie. Now, Star Wars is a phenomenon of its own, and easily my favorite has to go to Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Now, generally this is considered the best, and yeah, that's pretty much true, but Empire specifically succeeds overall because it takes what A New Hope made great and excels it and makes it just better in pretty much every aspect. Like, the pacing is slower, the imagery is darker, and it's not really in a sequel kind of way. Like, it actually feels like part 2 of our hero's journey. Now, like the Empire, it's just a lot more of a threat this time. Like Darth Vader, okay, he was just a cool villain, but I think this movie made him one of the best of all time because of how the Empire is used within the specific film. And I think it's the perfect collation of what I love about the entirety of this franchise. Alright, the number 4 spot has got to go to my all-time favorite animated film, Spirited Away. Now, and what makes it so good? Well, first of all, the world just sucks you in. Okay, I would want to be a part of this world, but I also wouldn't want to be a part of this world at the same time. But so the film just takes a family coming across what they think is like an abandoned theme park, and afterward the sun goes down, and then it turns into a bathhouse that all types of spirits go into. And our main lead Zen is just such a familiar role because she's absolutely terrified but amazed within the specific environment that she's forced to live in. And I wish, like I said, the environment is just so fulfilled that I could have come up with this something awesome. Now, it's rare when you see something this good. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. Now, I think you can watch it at any age and still be amazed at what it specifically brings to the table. Alright, number 3 has got to go to Sir Peter Jackson's crowning achievement. Now, I think this is the perfect example of Part 3 being the best in the long run. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Now, it never wastes any time concluding what had been previously established within the first 2 movies, and has plenty of interesting locations, characters, features, pretty much everything is used to its absolute full potential, not wasting any time at all, despite the movie being 3.5 hours long, 4.5 if you're counting the extended edition, which I do think is better because it specifically concludes more character arcs that just kind of appeared and disappeared throughout the entirety of the franchise. But, you know, it visually pleasing, it serves well as the perfect conclusion as to what was already great in the first place. Hitchcock's Best takes the number 2 spot, North by Northwest. Now, this is a film that works so well as it's a simple chase across America and goes to complex proportions. But to put it in the simplest form of description, you see this innocent guy is mistaken for being a terrorist and is being chased by the police, and at the same time he's mistaken for a government agent being chased by actual terrorists. So he goes to find that the agent that he doesn't exist, and he has to specifically fulfill the role, despite he's not trained for any of this. And our main role by Cary Grant is excellent. Now, he's someone with a large height of the film, delivering some excellent witty remarks about what is going on. This is Hitchcock at his absolute best, and these suspenseful thrillers at their absolute best. Alright, before we get to number 1, I'm going to give 15 honorable mentions that almost made the top 10. Like I said, this was not an easy list to make, and there's also just going to be a brief description of why it works so well and why I enjoy it so much, specifically tied within. So, anyway, let's go. Superbad, consistently hilarious and relatable comedy about some dorks just trying to get some booty. No Country for Old Men. Violent and suspenseful modern western that constantly keeps you entertained. Jaws, best shark movie. South Park, the bigger, the longer, and uncut. As long as you're not easily offended or you don't hate South Park, you'll probably enjoy this movie. House on a Haunted Hill, excellent 50s horror movie. Back to the Future Part 2, extremely creative time travel movie. The World's End, just a bunch of friends just trying to get wasted, and then some aliens show up, and it's fucking awesome. Rocky, the definitive underdog story. Monty Python, the Holy Grail. It's fucking hilarious. Happy Gilmore, also. It's just fucking hilarious. Hot Fuzz never stops being serious, but never stops being funny at the same time. The Hangover, excellent, consistently clever mystery comedy movie, if that's even a genre. Old Boy, if you have a strong stomach, you'll probably love it. Wayne's World, is it good? Yeah, but a monkey may fly out of my butt. And Die Hard, this is what made Bruce Willis cool.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Okay, at number 1, we have to go with Goodfellas. Now, this tells the story of Henry Hill, an actual person who drops out of school and joins a mob, preceding just a retrospect of Henry's life, featuring him getting married, having kids, living a double life, becoming addicted to drugs, going into prison, going out of prison, and everything just flows so well. It always leaves you wanting more as the storyline progresses, and all the performances are just great as well. The style consistently leaves the viewer both invested and the edge of their seat, and putting my performances aside, it's probably the best organized crime movie out there. Yes, better than The Godfather. Well, there's my list of my top 10 movies. If this is a success, I could review all the honorable mentions in a separate sequel kind of video, if that would work. I don't know. But anyway, so like I said at the beginning, this was not an easy list to make, and this kind of list is always going to be interesting because everyone's tastes are different, and that's why I'm honestly curious to see what everyone else's picks are. So I know I'm kind of being an asshole, just ask for comments with my 20 fucking subscribers, but anyway, so if you can comment your favorite stuff below, I'd love to see how the contrast of opinion would apply. So anyway, I'm Dr. X Henry, and I'm signing off. But this is still an absolute must-watch to a large amount of people, fans of animation, Pop-Tart, not fucking Pop-Tart.